Team of the month. We do team of the week every week. But with it being May 1st, the first of the month, we got to do a full encompassing team of the month. So position by position, picking the best player of the month at that spot. And let's start at the catcher position from the Atlanta Braves, Sean Murphy. Now, 256 on the month, 6 homers, 16 RBI in his first month as an Atlanta Brave. Come over to a new team, get on the team of the month in your first month. A little bit of a slower start to the year power-wise, and then he has picked it up with 6 homers. He had a walk-off mixed in there. Sean Murphy is my catcher on the team of the month.
All right, let's move over to first base. Who you got?
The first of the Tampa Bay Rays, Yandy Diaz, 319, 7 homers, 16 RBI, and an OPS north of 1,000. The guy's been killing it all year long. He is my first baseman.
Moving over to second base, Luis Arraez.
I've come to the conclusion that I really think there's a chance Luis Arraez hits 400 for the first time in a year since Ted Williams.
Wow.
He's hitting 442, and he never slows down. I watch games, and the guy goes 2 for 5 at the plate, and his batting average lowers. That's how good he's been. 442. On-base percentage over 500. 39 hits in the month. That's a good couple of months for people.
Oh, yeah.
Man, Luis Arraez batting title last year in the American League. Now hitting 442 with his new team. He's my second baseman.
Moving over to third base, Matt Chapman.
Matt Chapman has been arguably the best player in baseball so far this year, but certainly one of the best. 372, 5 homers, 21 RBI, and an OPS of 1.152. Matt Chapman has been on a roll. He's known for his elite platinum glove defense over at third base, but this year he's been showing how good he is offensively. So third baseman, team of the month, Matt Chapman.
Moving over to shortstop, Wander Franco.
The next of the Tampa Bay Rays. Wander Franco, 300, 5 homers, 17 RBIs, and 12 stolen bases on the month. Now, there were a couple of names and directions I could have gone here at the shortstop position, but in the end, with the Rays being 23-6 and Wander being a huge part of that, and all of the doubles, 12 doubles on the year, a bunch of stolen bases, more than the other shortstops that could have been in this category. I had to go with him. He gets the nod for me at the shortstop position.
All right, moving to the outfield, and your first outfielder, another Tampa Bay Ray, Randy Arozarena.
Again, always have to say this.
Yes.
3 outfielders, regardless of their specific position out there. Just 3 outfielders. First of those being Randy Arozarena, who has just carried it right over from the World Baseball Classic into the first month of the season. 333, 7 home runs, and 28 RBIs to start the year. Randy is on a tear to start the year. I would love to see him keep up. Playoff Randy and WBC Randy, we're seeing that now. If we see it all year long, we're seeing an MVP type of player.
I'm such a Randy fan.
Yeah.
Like, became such a huge fan, such a vibe during the WBC. So I am so happy for him.
You drafted him second in
I did.
your draft.
All right, next up, Mike Trout.
Yep. Trouty. You just ho-hum. You just look up and the guy's batting .320 with 7 homers and 18 RBIs and an OPS over 1,000. His career OPS now is over 1,000 on the year. He hit multiple home runs, 2 home runs in back-to-back at-bats in Milwaukee the other night. He had a great week. He's having a great month, and he is certainly right back where he belongs in that MVP conversation. So Mike Trout is my second of 3 outfielders.
And then rounding it out, Ronald Acuna Jr.
Yep. Ronald Acuna is my third, 352 with 4 homers, 14 RBIs, and 13 stolen bases on the year. Ronald Acuna is healthy. He is happy. He's having fun. The Braves are playing great, and he is on my list as my third outfielder in no particular order. Randy, Mike Trout, and Ronald Acuna. And before we move on, Alex, I really wanted to mention I struggled with the outfield a lot because Brandon Marsh deserves to be on this list, and Jared Kelenic deserves to be on this list. but there's only 3.
Yeah.
And where do you put them? And I thought long and hard between these 5 guys. And where do I put him? And ultimately for me, Ronald Acuna with those 13 stolen bases ended up being, all of the numbers are about the same. Ronald's batting average is higher than the other 2. Trout with the power numbers, Randy with the 28 RBIs. So it was really difficult for me to choose in the outfield. Ultimately ended up going with these 3 in the first month of the year. But shout out Brandon Marsh. I love you, and I'm so happy for the year you're having. So I had to say that.
No, we love Marsh.
Yep.
Okay, time for the designated hitter, the unicorn, Shohei Ohtani.
Yep, Shohei just ended his month with almost hitting for the cycle the other night. 294 on the year, 7 home runs, 18 RBIs, and as I mentioned, finishing the month with a bang. Had 3 hits in the game on Saturday. Friday, I believe it was Friday. The last game he started on the mound.
Thursday.
Started on the mound, was a home run away from the cycle, but like a few feet away from completing the cycle. And we're just talking about offensively here. And he also gets a little bit of a nod because, as you know, he pitches as well. 294, 7 homers, and 18 RBI is enough to get Shohei as the DH on the player or the team of the month.
Moving to starting pitcher, Zach Gallen.
It's been unbelievable how good he's been. He has a 2.15 ERA on the year, 51 strikeouts, and 37 2/3 innings pitched for Zach Gallen so far this year. I love the guy, and he threw a pitch the other day to Vinny Pasquantino, and he said, I have never seen a pitch like that in my entire life. And he struck out on this pitch. That's what he continues to do. He's just masterful out there on the mound, and it's been another great, great year so far for Zach Gallen.
All right. Closing out team of the month, your closing pitcher, Josh Hader.
Josh Hader, especially with Edwin Diaz being out of the game this year. I think last year Edwin kind of took that title of best closer in the game of baseball, but it was because of a little bit of the weird month plus Josh Hader had. Well, he's back. 10 saves, a 0.69 ERA, 17 strikeouts on his 13 innings pitched. Josh Hader is the best closer in the game of baseball right now, and he has figured out whatever he went through at that point last year. He's been dominant and a shutdown closer, and he is my closer on Team of the Month. So, Alex, Team of the Month, first of the month. That means it's not Player of the Week this year. It is Player of the Month time. And my Player of the Month for the first month of the season is none other than Shohei Ohtani. How can you not? 292 average, 7 homers, 18 RBIs. I talked about all of his offensive numbers when it came to the designated hitter position. Pitching-wise, he's been arguably one of the best pitchers in the game of baseball to start the year. He's been lights out. He was breaking records on the mound. He had one bad start in there, the last start of the month, and really it was just one really bad inning. Other than that, he was perfect in the game. And he had an ERA sub-1. Ended up with an ERA sub-2 on the year. He's been great offensively and one of the most dominant pitchers in the game so far this year. There's really no doubt in my mind that Shohei Ohtani so far is the player of the year, and in the first month, he's the player of the month.
Yeah.
So, Alex, I ask you, who would be your player of the month?
My player of the month is also Shohei Ohtani. It is hard not to just take a moment, take a step back. You mentioned a lot of his numbers, but appreciate his greatness and what he is doing. He is having an incredible start to this season, both on the mound and at the plate. He launched his 7th home run on Sunday, because Shohei loves hitting home runs on Sundays.
It never fails.
Yeah, he's tied for 4th in home runs with 13 other players right now, but he's in the top 5, both offensively and on the mound. He has the 6th best ERA in baseball. He's tied for the 4th most strikeouts in all of Major League Baseball, and he's just had an incredible start. And you mentioned he was a home run shy of the cycle in his last start on Thursday. He would have been the first player since 1888 to hit for the cycle and pitch in the same game. So it's like every time he does something, it's historic that we haven't seen in over 100 years. So Shohei Ohtani.